okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Great, okay.
Did one of your family members paint this?
No, I will not start explaining now.
How long did they live in this cave?
Yeah, I will explain. Just
Thank you.
yes. Yeah, this is the cave where my family used to live. Beginning of 1916, when my grandfather bought this land, he moved from Bethlehem with his wife, my grandmother, and 3 children. My father and 2 uncles. My father Bishara, Bishara means the good news. My uncle Naif and another uncle Solomon. My uncle Sliman died as he was 12 years old. So 4 people continued living here. And then my my grandfather started with his sons to cultivate the land, to plant trees, and they changed the land into a small paradise for the family. And evenings they sat around the fire, we sang some songs, and then we had special songs for the planting trees, for planting season, for harvesting. It's like in the biblical period. And then before my grandfather died, he gave the authority to his children, my father and uncle, to continue the work he started, and also to keep the land, as their mother. And then my grandmother was sick in the 50s, and so my father had to go with her to Bethlehem to the hospital. So he stayed with her until she passed away, and my uncle decided to stay here. So he stayed here, living on the farm in the cave, until he passed away in 1987. He was living here over 60 years in this land, unmarried. He was married to the land. And my father, when my grandmother passed away, he came back. He was coming and going during that time, but when she passed away, he came and he found another cave, and he lived in a cave also on the property. Of my elderly brothers and sisters, like Daher, they grew up also in caves, in the cave. So yeah, my father also died in 1976, and he was a preacher, and also we grew up in a Christian family, and also my father used to tell us biblical stories. I don't remember much because my father died in 1976. I was 5 years old at that time, and he had a vision. He wanted to devote his land for a peace project, or part of the land, but he died before fulfilling his dream. So 30 years later, we are trying to do it with the project Tent of Nations here, to realize his dream. So later on in 2000, we did renovate something from the cave, and the family cave, and now it's becoming a place for gatherings and meetings. This is done by British artists, and this is like Muslim, Christian, and Jewish motives. And here we see the cross, the crescent, and here the menorah you see here. And so like people, and so the vision is like to bring people from different nations, cultures, and religions to build bridges of reconciliation, of understanding, reconciliation, and peace. But yeah, here on the back side of the column here, you see the picture of my grandfather Daher during the Ottoman period, when he bought the land during the Ottoman period. And my father Bishara means the good news, and it's very important for the good news to live. So also my son's name is also Bishara. And my Daher's son is also his name Bishara, good news. And this is my uncle Naif, who lived in this cave until he passed away. So in 1991 we heard by chance that Israel declared our farm as a state land. So the legal battle started in 1991, and it's going until today, with the financial burden of $140,000. Yeah, we owe our lawyers and land land surveyors a lot of money. And the idea is like to build a settlement on our property. But, you know, since we have the documents from the Ottoman period, English Mandate period, Jordanian period, and from Israel after 1967, so we are dealing with this legally. But despite of all these papers, we are still in court. And even the land is not registered under my grandfather's name, but under my father's name.
Okay.
Yeah, not even my uncle, because my uncle was older than my father. And then they said maybe if there is any problem, because he's the younger, so why not to put all the you know, like the registration papers under his name. You know, and we are lucky for that now.
Yeah, that was a good.
Yes,
yeah.
but you know, still it's not enough to prove ownership. So we went through a process. Started in 1991. We went to the court and we proved that this is our land. And then they said, well, we have to check if these papers are for the right place. So then we had to survey the land again. We had to bring eyewitnesses to the court.
And you had
one
to
time.
pay for all of
Yes, of course. One time we had to bring 50 people, family members and neighbors, and we had to stand in the sun for about 5 hours. And then a soldier came out and he said, we cannot talk to you today, come tomorrow. So in order to you know, to give up hope. And later on, of course, you know, 12 years legal battle in front of the military court, and more than now 6 years in front of the Supreme Court. We had to survey the land 7 times. From 7 different land surveyors, always like making it very difficult for us, you know, in order to give up financially. You know, always like our lawyer says, we need money. The land surveyor, we need this and that, you know. But we are people who are believing in justice, and we believe that the Son of Justice one day will rise again. You know. So on the ground, so this is legally on the ground, we had a lot of physical attack from the settlers. They came and uprooted trees, they damaged our water tank, they threatened us with guns, you know, in order to put physical pressure, in order to give up and leave. They tried 3 times to build a road on our property in order to establish a settlement. And when you go outside, you see we are in a ring of Israeli settlements from all sides. And this is the only place that is under Palestinian control. You know?
Wow.
So then we, you know, this situation is bringing the Palestinians. Maybe you can sit. You know, this situation is bringing the Palestinians whether to react, you know, in a violent way, or to resign and you know, be hopeless, you know, give up, or immigrate. And this is the 3 options the Palestinians, you know, in my opinion, they have. And of course, many people they think, or some people they think, well, you know, if you hit me, I hit back, you know. So this is the retaliation, you know, revenge. And with that we can achieve something, and we cannot achieve anything with violence. Some people they believe that the solution must come from outside, and you know, the US government must put pressure, and the Europe and all this stuff. So living in the hope, so waiting and waiting. But this situation is bringing many Palestinians to react with immigration, especially the best educated people among the Palestinians, and among them are the Christians. So the majority of the Christians are leaving because of the situation, and we are afraid that the Holy Land will become like a Disneyland for people to come from abroad to see the holy places, take pictures here and there, and at the end, it's not represented by the living stones of this country.